Yo, 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 we are back. We are back. We are back. And we're back here. Back like we what?
Like we never left before.
Absolutely. And we are here making history. So please make sure that y'all go ahead and share this joint, like it, because the Culture Podcast is back, y'all. We have a little special guest. Y'all familiar with him on the Floor Joy platform. So we're good, but we're going to go ahead and hit this intro and get into the topic of tonight.
Oh, yeah. Peace.
They the Roy's new podcast, who want the smoke? Coming raw and uncut like who want this dope? Whatever you want, they for sure to cover the topic. From racial issues to fashion flies to cockpit. Y'all ain't never get it like this, cause they ain't never did it like this. We on our this the way the cookie crumbles for y'all. She gon' bring the inspiration to all. You know what's up with her. And this shit manifesting is a vision. And y'all gon' love TJ cause he the realest. From the heart of a mob, they the start of it all. You looking for a high learning, holla at your rod. The professor, nothing less, coming at you with the lessons. Get your edge if you knowin' what's good for you. They educated, but they still keep it hood for you. Won't need another, this one here really do it for you.
Baby, look at the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I'm in love for yours. If it come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how cool the floor is yours. 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 The floor is
Yo, virtual world. It's been quite a while. Grandmaster Teacher Furious Styles in the building. We got Luna. We got the OG Mars representing Greenwood. But the uniqueness of this is we all coming together. This show's coming together. We are representing a great cause for humanity. October the 8th. I'm gonna do the symbol. The symbol is gonna pass it off, and hope y'all recognize and think back to the late 60s. And just do that for me. Just do that. And boom, that's what we represent in the John Carlos Run for Humanity. How y'all feeling? I'm excited. I'm actually quite excited. It's been a long time coming. I remember when it first was an idea, and seated beside me, these two. When I say masterminds, being able to come together, chiefs of it. It started here, and then it ventured and branched out into what we have now. So I'm gonna just kind of pass the mic, and we're just gonna introduce and kind of see what this entire episode and this evening is about. I guess, Sir Mars, you mind starting us off and what we're putting together this weekend?
Yes. Thank you guys for having me, by the way, on the Culture Podcast. This is where it's at, as you guys know, on the Floor is Yours podcast. And as he mentioned before, I am on Greenwood. Stop by as well. But basically, we're going to be having a community event, especially in an area that needs to sit down in the 757. Now, I think everybody needs something like this, and that is one of the ultimate goals, is to move this event around. So, but for now, we're going to start it in the 757 at IC Norcom, which is a historically Black high school as well. And that is exciting to be a part of something like that, where we can bring people together, shed light on certain things that's going on. And that was really the biggest thing about it, was being a key figure that was about humanity from the start, and kind of spreading that and sprinkling around where people need it. So.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. Well, I guess the question of the hour that was started is, who is Sir John Carlos to you?
John Carlos is actually my brother. So he's Pop to me, but to the world, to the people, which at some point he was kind of like a figure, as he is to other people, to me, because he was a around, sprinkling that joy for humanity, So most of my life, actually all of my life, 68, I was not born. So he's been doing it before and since, on a large scale. But beyond him being my grandfather, he's definitely an icon. Someone I see all the time, and when I see his picture, number one, and then it also gives me hope for the other people that are posting it and actually understand what it's about. So
awesome. Well, listen, y'all make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, because we're just starting. This is just bare minimum, right? So what I do want to do, because I want to hear from Flex, the producer. He all the way down in Texas, and we here in Virginia. And I want to know, what does humanity mean for you, Sir Flex?
Man, let me go ahead and increase my screen size so people can see who they're talking to. Man, so first off, hats off to this event. I remember when I first met Mars in person, and he told me who his grandfather was. I was like, and he just kind of glossed over it, man. Like, my father. Like, yeah. I'm like, no, man, you can't do it like that. Like, that is something huge, right? And that's the thing. Like, you never know when you run into people who you could be entertaining. So, I mean, not that you're always looking to gain something from someone, but you just never know the opportunity that could potentially present itself. So when I talked to him and just understood the magnitude of who his grandfather was, and he was telling me about this upcoming event and the plans for me to be there, just understanding what it means for humanity, what humanity means. And it's just the respect and the care for people, to treat everyone fairly, for everyone to be, what they call the intrinsic value that God has given us. And, unfortunately, in a world where sometimes you got to fight for what's yours, for what's right. And I think that's what your grandfather stood for. And I just think about him on that stage, man, and the guts it took in that moment, man, to raise that fist up. And I'll be honest, not many people would have taken that moment, to do that, to say this is bigger than me. And I don't know if he knew what it would symbolize and represent, this many years later. But man, he did a great thing. And it just, for me, it's an honor to be connected with you, brother. And man, I told you, I hope I'm there and get to meet him. But if not, man, I know y'all gonna do great things, man. And I'm excited to witness it.
Awesome. That's so dope. As you were talking, Flex, I was sitting here and I was thinking about just even the importance of us putting together this event. And I remember when Mars first brought it to me, I was trying to tell him like other cities we can go to. And he was like, no, we're gonna go to Portsmouth and Norfolk. And I was like, dude, there's way more cities. However, as we've been building this, there was a period of time, at least about a month or two ago, where there were threats that was happening in this city about people who were going to be doing harm towards people. People was talking about possible shootouts and possible bombings and just different things. And it's like, what better area to do that than somewhere where most people have forgotten? They've forgotten about the people, humanities in the city of Portsmouth. So I'm grateful that we were able to secure a location in Portsmouth. And if anybody in the Hampton Roads area is like, I wish they picked my city, trust me, this is going to happen every year. But I think this year we would be remiss to not have the first annual. Yes, I said first annual. That means it's going to come all the time. John Carlos Run for Humanities at, again, a historical Black high school. And you have that person. So this is going to be a historic event, you guys. For me, humanities mean I love you just because you got breath in your body. Like, you ain't got to prove nothing to me. And if anybody knows me for real, I am a lover. I'm a hugger. I don't care if it's the first time we met. I'm going to give you that love. And honestly, I think what the Hampton Roads area here in Virginia need. We've had so many senseless deaths. Our students aren't doing very well in schools. The connections with families are being broken. So I know for me, I wanted to do this so that on Saturday, people can have family and create what family means to them in community. So speaking of that, what is your role this weekend, and why do you think your role is as important as all the stuff that we've been talking about?
Deal, peace. Well, the role I have the opportunity to fulfill is putting together an hour of entertainment. G Joint Productions, the record label, myself, KD the Queen, it's just Curtis, Marissa Ada, and then Sir Sultan Spitz, Isaiah Mariner. We're all collaborating and being able to put together an hour of conscious music, poetry, and what that represents is so much power in words, in music, and to have the entire, or that's what we're projecting, the entire city of Suffolk here at this particular event. Music moves people. What greater thing to do than speak positivity over an entire crowd of people and do it in a way that gets them moving, but then they're also being uplifted, edified, taught about themselves, taught about humanity within itself, and then to be able to do that in a way that it is not, degrading, but is actually supporting the cause in which this particular event represents.
So what he's saying is he gonna make us get up and move our bodies.
Drop it like it's hot.
Or because you ain't turned to the left. So Mars, what has been the biggest, I guess, because the event hasn't happened yet, right? But what has been the biggest lesson you feel you've learned as we've been putting this together?
That's a good question. This event has given me tons of anxiety, and I think I do that to myself as well. But planning stuff definitely, especially if you're passionate about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm passionate about this. This is one thing I set my mind on about 1.5 years ago when I switched my life around to what I'm doing today. And I said, I want to do community events. I went to like a couple of community events. I was like, this is what I want. So the biggest lesson was if it's for me, and if I'm that passionate about it, I just got to get it done, and I just got to do it. And a lot of people don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people use that anxiety to push them away from doing stuff, And this idea came up in March. This is half a year, and it's here. And we got vendors, we got entertainment, we got, And I guess the biggest lesson: find yourself a team.
Yeah.
Find yourself a team. If anything you want to accomplish, anything, find yourself a team to get it done.
I would say that is a huge part of humanities, honestly. And if you guys didn't check out Portsmouth Coffee Talk, we had Dr. John Carlos on there on this past Monday, and he explained what the fish represented for him and how some people try to demonize it, but for him it was like, as everything comes together, I can do so much more than by myself. And I will say, because I know this is going to be a yearly thing, y'all, for real, we're like family. So this is just a portion of it. So you got Mars with Neurospace, myself with M Green Enterprises, you got Will or Furious Styles of G Joint Productions, but we also have Deb the Doula, shout out to her, with Earthside. We're not just going to be doing a run, but there's going to be a walk. So the month of October is also Infant Loss and Death Awareness Month. As someone that is a mother of 2 angel babies, that walk is going to be everything, because we want to commemorate those people that have, those kiddos that have passed before us. So she's going to be spearheading that part. And then we have who I call Dr. Tanya Pass of We Need to Know Ministries, who's our nonprofit that is on the team, that literally all of us are family. You got two dope couples that came together, and then of course you got Mama Bear and Papa Bear. We got to put him in there too, of all of us coming together. And I feel like the team represents humanity. So when Saturday gets here, nothing else is going to be there besides that. And I think this process has taught me, again, the importance of the team. Like we come together. There's been many times where we may have bump heads, but it was out of love, and it was out of us all trying to grow. And I feel like us being able to be that that example to people in our communities is going to begin to transform lives. So we can't get anywhere without each other. So Furious, what does being a part of a team mean to you?
It's like the network. It's like the network of life. There's one thing. I just got off of a phone call with an organization that I'm a part of, and they're trying to figure out a vetting process. This vetting process, they're deciphering, figuring out how to give something a gold star. And what they wound up doing or realizing is, in order for a business to receive this gold star, it's going to require another gold star brand to basically bring it up. That's just like value. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. He talks about being a high value person, but you're only high value based on the people and the connections that you have that can bring you up. You don't just wake up high value, and that's what the team. Whereas there's certain things that's just not going to happen without the team. Like success is a team effort. So you really won't see success until you have that mindset of, okay, I need to get a team because I don't know everything. And in order for it to be successful, all of these areas have to be covered. And again, back in March, I remember phone calls, initial emails. That's honestly what I seen you all do and how it came about over time. You know, it started with just it being a wall, and then it was, let's do entertainment. Then it was, let's have some events, let's have some games, and kind of seeing it all come together. It's like, this could not happen with just one mind. So
it's good. It's good.
Man, that makes me think about kind of like dreaming out loud is something that I've been learning in my coaching space, where Mars could have easily had this idea and said absolutely nothing. But instead he had the idea and he dreamed it out loud. And I was like, okay, I got your back. And then it was like, well, hold on. We got Will. Let's get him. And it was like, wait, we got Deb. And it was literally like, I think the way that it happened for me, it's a blessing because many people don't have this experience, especially not in our generation. You don't have, it's very rare you're going to find people, one, develop a friendship. I think that also is kind of what happened. And then the friendship helped with the business side. So where all of us saw each other's strengths, it was like, okay, you bring this, let's come together. No, you in charge of this space, you in charge of that space. And again, it comes down to the whole in general, where whoever is coming in that space, we want you to be authentically who you are. Nobody else. Like, we don't want anybody to come fake and phony. Listen, if you are in a gang, leave that, I almost cuss, leave it at the door. You know, if you have a political thought, there are going to be political people out there, but leave all that at the door. Like, it's not about conflict. It's about, I want to know who my brother and my sister is so that I can love you, so that I won't pull out a gun and shoot you because I know who you are. I know who your family is. Like, that for me is what this whole thing is all about. So yes, when we look at Dr. John Carlos and he raised his fist up, I feel like in this moment right now, he's still raising his fist up, and that has to be tiring from 1968 to 2022. I want this event to allow for him to be able to place his fist down, where people finally get it, where people finally see if we just come together, heck, and just breathe, and literally just come together and love on one another. And I really do think that the team has set that precedent and has set that example. And even if we think about just even this platform, like, we take each other everywhere. You know, like, we started Culture Podcast and we brought on Mars and Deb, and now he's part of Greenwood. Like, we want to be that example, that collaboration is what, like you guys said, is what's going to make us successful. So pivoting from there, there's another aspect of this, the scholarship. What does the scholarship represent for you when it comes to giving someone a scholarship in your grandfather's name?
Before we get to the part about putting it in my grandfather's name, just in general, giving people free stuff is always cool, you know. And as a high school student, felt like I was trying to do everything right, and not necessarily wanting to get into an occupation that had to do with saving or helping humanity, but I knew I wanted to. I wanted sociology, so I wanted to understand people. But it's insane, just, you know, wanting to understand people is the kind of one of the root of humanity. And understanding and loving humanity, you want to understand people and interacting with people. So giving free stuff out, number one, is always cool. And then secondly, I was looking for something like that and it was so hard to get scholarships, especially if you were trying to do the right thing. $1,000 goes a long way for a senior, and no matter how they use it, we want them to use it towards good. But no matter how they use it, that's a lot of money. So, and then to be able to give it in my grandfather's name, it's even better, and it makes me feel actually pretty cool giving people free stuff and in my grandfather's name. That's even better, you know what I mean? And I think he enjoys that as well, because it is about humanity. It is about what they're doing. It is about growth. It is about the motivation, which I know that's the main thing, is to motivate them to continue, because we have kids now that are motivated to continue doing dumb stuff, motivated to continue the streets, you know what I mean? So if we can motivate them in a proper way, hold them on a pedestal, have everybody, you know, because a lot of black kids, not even just black kids, but kids in the 757 don't get that kind of, no matter what culture, they don't get that kind of praise. I don't really see too much youth praise unless you're like in the arts or something like that. But giving them that motivation and having them have that feeling that everything's gonna be all right, number one, and that they can do it, and that good things do come when they're doing stuff.
Oh, I love it. So this is what I want us to do. I think this is a perfect time for us to share a video that talks about the John Carlos Run for Humanities, and let Flex cue that up. And then when we come back, I want for each of us to tell you guys our contribution to Humanities, a little bit more about our own companies, our own businesses. And then we want to reiterate what the Culture Podcast is all about anyway. And if there's any viewers that want to come on as a guest, we want to be able to give you an opportunity to understand what are you coming on for. So I think it's a good time to kind of do that pause. So Flex, when you're ready, we're going to cue that video up, my friend.
Get ready, everyone, for a one-of-a-kind community event for humanity. The John Carlos Run for Humanity will take place on October 8th at IC Norcom. Come walk, come run, whatever your heart desires. There will be food, awards, scholarships, kid zones, and resources for the community. Entertainment will be by Furious Styles, Marissa Ada, DJ Fairway, and many more. This event is hosted by Neurospace, Earthside, G-Joint Entertainment, MG Enterprises, You Need to Know Ministries, and Dr. John Carlos himself. So come one, come all, October 8th at 8 a.m. Register on Eventbrite. We love to see you there.
Super dope.
Boom. Make sure y'all register. Make sure you connect. To make sure you are a part of the moment, because that's what it's all about, making here in life. Queen Lona, prior to this commercial break, suggested that we share some of the things we have individually contributed to humanity. I would love to begin. I would love to start. You know, we started with G-Joint Productions. That's the record label. That's the music. Speaking Life. The reality is beyond just music, but it's used as a mentoring aspect. It's used as a way to develop a craft. I work as a teacher, and one thing that I've noticed in my time teaching is realizing the skill of writing is continuing to decline. The ability to memorize. I took that for granted growing up. So the ability to memorize and all this stuff I want to implement, utilize with music. I'm a part of the Heaven Rose committee of 200 plus men, and what we do is we mentor as well. There's a lot of opportunities that they're having, different events. I'm putting together a club called the Junior Toastmasters. For those that don't know about the Toastmasters, they are a public speaking group. And what I'm choosing to do is create my own branch of it and make it for the youth, middle school students, and teach them their confidence, the ability to speak, use their voice, not just communicating, talking, but then also being able to take what they're personally feeling and be able to communicate that. Also, beyond the mentoring, beyond the public speaking, the teaching, the writing, I do that for the art. art has saved me. Art has been that catalyst, that thing that I've been able to utilize, and then to be able to share that same gift with others. I feel that is one of my greatest contributions to humanity, because the art is what brings color to the world. So yeah.
Okay. You sound like a rainbow man over here. That's what I call Mars, because he loves color. So I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to you.
It's terrible. Rainbow man. I like bright colors, but okay. Yeah, so as she mentioned, my name is Bright Colors Mars, and I'm a mental health advocate myself, as most of you may know, and a youth empowerer as well. Neurospace LLC is the brand, neurospace.llc on all platforms. Make sure you follow me. But I like to spread positivity. I'm noticing that more than anything. I had the opportunity to go to NSU at a resource and event, a wellness event, and the kids loved. I make positivity affirmation cards, and my kids, like, I'm old now, but the college students loved it. No matter who it was. I mean, they're gender neutral. So guys, sometimes guys are haven't taken it, but there was one guy that he was just like, "What is this?" And I was like, "It's positivity," And he's like, "Oh, okay. Am I supposed to take it?" I'm like, "Yeah." So he reads it and he's like, "What's that mean?" He's like, and then I explained it to him. He's like, "Oh yeah, I knew what affirmation was," and it's just the opportunity to be able to change the narrative on certain things. And so that was pretty cool. And I think that my business is more centered towards positivity, and empowerment, no matter what age group you are. But that's one of the big things that helps me get humanity together and see where humanity is lacking, because that's one thing is like, I smiled at this one lady in passing of talking to one of my clients, or dropping one of my clients off, and she was like, "What you smiling at?" And so that's where humanity is at. Positivity is weird to them, So I'm trying to change that narrative in a lot of different situations, and that's kind of what my business is centered towards, is changing that narrative. I call myself the voice of the misfits, and we're all misfits in something, in some group. And sometimes we want to be a part of the groups because of social status. But if we can realize that there's a uniqueness and there's power in being a misfit, that's kind of what I want to bring to plus that positivity.
See, my circle is tight, y'all. I'm telling you. But as we're doing this, remember to like, share, subscribe. Right now, if you're watching on Facebook, what's up, Facebookers? If you're watching on YouTube, hey, make sure you subscribe and share. And for those of you who are watching, I would love to know, what is your definition of humanity? Because I would love to see what you guys think humanity is, so we can make sure that as we are preparing for Saturday, your voice is also heard. So a little bit about me, but before I get into this, I want to make sure the other two partners that we have is not left out. So we have Deb the doula, and I personally feel like her contribution to humanity is the fact that she starts humanity. As a doula, she is literally in charge of life, the woman who's carrying life and the life that's going to come through that woman. So Deb, shout out to you, my sister. We love you. Huh? Good. He said she's fine too. We're going to Millennium Tour tomorrow. Hopefully it's in this song. Anyway, but I want to shout out Deb, and then then You Need to Know Ministries. Dr. Tanya Pass is amazing. If you do not know who she is in the Hampton Roads area, you need to know her. And she's making sure, as the mama bear, to make sure that we're doing it right. Make sure that the purpose stays the purpose, and us having the resources that we need, and her allowing us to utilize her intern. So I would be remiss if I didn't say thank you to her, because she's all about humanity. She is a social worker. She's one of my mentors. So that you guys see when y'all look at me, Tanya Pass has something to do with it. So I want to make sure I shout her out. Now for myself, as far as humanity go, I literally just show up and I become whatever you need to be mentally stable. And I think that's humanity in itself. I do not judge people. I'm very transparent so that you can understand I got my own stuff that I'm struggling with and I'm dealing with, so that I don't have a judgmental bone in my body. And I do therapy, coaching, consulting, I'm more open to anything at any given moment. Because people deserve to know that they're enough. People deserve that the breath that's in their body is valuable, man. And there's people that's losing their life rapidly. So my thing is to give you your roses while you are alive. So if you guys come out on Saturday, my role is to make sure mentally you leave out feeling better. That there's a improvement in your thought pattern, that you feel like you have a place to belong. A lot of us seek self-actualization, but if anybody, this is going to be a geek moment, but Maslow hierarchy of needs, we talk about basic needs, so food, water, shelter, sex is down there too, but we'll talk about that another time. And then on top of that is what they call safety and security, or safety and belonging. People have to feel like they belong somewhere before they can actually self-actualize. So you cannot get to the best version of yourself if you don't have people rocking with you. And it might just be 1 or 2 people. So that's my contribution to the world, is allow for people to understand we wasn't supposed to do this life on our own. So I'm grateful to have my family surrounding me. I'm grateful to know that we are going to be making history, y'all. The first history was created in 1968, but I'm telling you, with Dr. John Carlos, his life, he's a historian. Everywhere he goes, he creates history. So I'm blessed to be ready to create history on Saturday. Flex, we have not forgotten about you, my brother. How are you contributing to humanities, my friend?
Yeah, just real brief, because I know we're running on short on time now. But me, just whatever, kind of on the lines what you said, whatever I can be to the need, those in need. I know Paul talked about that in his, when he was giving the word there. He said that we can be all things to all people, you know. So it takes a special heart, and to be willing to give yourself in that manner. And I see what y'all doing. I know I've expressed this to y'all a number of times, that I see the work that's going on in the Hampton Roads area, and I mean, it's amazing. I see y'all, and I think about it as our pioneers, as they age and begin to leave, transition from this earth. We need people like y'all doing what y'all doing. It not just talking, because everybody got something to say, you know. But I think where the rubber meets the road, y'all represent that, and this platform represents that. So I just want us to, what y'all talked about earlier, to keep partnering and teaming, and figuring out how can we navigate this thing together, because strength are in numbers. So that's, you know, in a nutshell, me just trying to bring the masses together, let our voice be heard, so we can make a difference.
I love it, and we're grateful to have you.
Sounded like the MLK speech.
MLK speech.
You sound like the speech, bro. You should coin that and copyright it. Real tough.
Maybe
I run that back when the show is over then, huh? We'll see.
Oh man. So y'all listen. Remember to like, share, subscribe. I just want to briefly remind you guys of the purpose of the Culture Podcast. I know that it has been a minute since we've been on, but starting today, every other Thursday at 8:30, right here, make sure y'all go ahead and put that joint in your calendar. Put Culture Podcast so that you can make sure that you are here every other Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time for our Texans down there. We'll be down there soon, y'all. I promise.
Oh yeah.
But I really want to reiterate something for you guys. So the Culture Podcast was created because there's many people who are struggling, that has dealt with trauma, that is dealing with life, that don't know where to go, but people are afraid to have real conversations about real topics. And what we wanted to do was open up the doors to our homes and be as transparent as we possibly can, touch those untalked about topics so that we can normalize people's experience to keep them alive one more day. There are so many people that are contemplating suicide because they just feel like they're alone. They feel misunderstood. They feel like nobody understands. So we wanted the Culture Podcast to not just be something that's fun. At first, I'm not even gonna lie, it was supposed to have been fun. Me and Fury supposed to get up here and make y'all laugh and have, you know, just chill moments. But then we realized that we were the only people that were really talking about something on our platform.
Yeah.
So we've had mental health professionals, we've had survivors of sexual abuse and assault, we've had Aquaman come on and talk about water safety. We've had Dev and Carlos come on, and we was talking about relationships and marriages and just life in general. So the Culture Podcast is your platform. It's not ours. So what I am charging you guys to do is, if you got something to say that's going to actually impact people, that's going to be a positive impact on humanity, make sure you reach out to us, inbox The Floor Is Yours on Facebook, or even leave a comment on YouTube, and we'll make sure we follow up with you. It's not just about being an expert with credentials, but if you have a life experience and a story to share, that is what our platform is for. So, real quick reminder again, Saturday at IC Norcom High School. And if you were alumni, they'll say the IC Norcom High School.
You better be there.
Yeah, you better be there. Registrations at 7:30 for the run walk. But we're going to be starting at 8 o'clock with the welcome, and then at 8:15, be ready to run or walk. Look, Dr. John Carlos want to see who can beat his time. So if you got any kiddos or you yourself run track, come on out there. You never know, you may get blessed if you beat his time. But what we'll say is this, though, please come out, celebrate. Once the run walk is done, we're going to have performances that is going to be led by G Joint Productions. We're going to have some vendors out there. There's going to be activities for kiddos that's there. And we're also going to be giving awards to our unsung heroes here in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia, because there's many people that are doing great things, but people just don't know. So what we want to do is put people in front of the masses so that we can start celebrating one another and loving on one another. So we'll do some closing remarks. You want to go first, Mars?
Yes. First of all, thank you, Culture Podcast people, for allowing me to be here. Closing remarks is, man, I want to see y'all on Saturday. If you're not in town, let somebody know if you know they're in the area. Let us know if you want us to come to your area. Tell us what you think we can do better as far as, helping out humanity, because that's the kind of stuff that we're going to need to, continue this on and actually keeping people enjoying and growing, because that's what it's about. It's about progress, coming together, and enjoying ourselves. So that's my closing remarks, man. I better see y'all on Saturday. That's about it.
I love it.
Or this fist will be for something else.
All right, Kung Fu Master Flash.
Hey, yes. There's no I and we. There's no you and me. There's only us. Unity's a must. No, it's a succeed. With that being said, get connected. Get connected. You'd be surprised what you're missing. And what I mean by that is, like, we spend a lot of time, man, I could do this on my own. And it's like, once you get the connection, you're like, wow, I've been missing out on a whole lot. So get connected. Allow this to be that moment. Use the network. There'll be a lot of people out there, y'all. I'm telling you, come support, enjoy yourself. But don't be surprised if you just showing up turns out to be the blessing that you need. A lot of times we miss out on that blessing by not being present, by not showing up. So don't allow the reason you miss your blessing simply because you just chose not to come. So if you're in the area, it's supposed to be nice out, about mid-60s.
And it's free $99.
Free $99.
It's free $99.
Yeah, it'd be some platinum selling artists doing music, Million records sold, Furious Style, KD, Marissa. Marissa got a flow on y'all. She want me to do this feature. It's on the drill beat. It's like that too. So yeah, you just never know the creativity and the beautiful things that can be made. So come be a part of history. Make that moment. Make that memory, because that's what's gonna last in there. So yeah.
Man, I just want to say thank you for just y'all support, man. We can't do this if people don't show up. We can talk about humanity all day, but if there's no humans, then how in the world are we going to have humanity? So we are asking y'all to please come out. I want to say Mars for just allowing us to be a part of your vision. He's not a person that you overtake anyway. So it's his vision, y'all. Let me put that out. But no, for real, in all seriousness, I'm just grateful to be surrounded. I'm grateful to share this moment with my husband and see him do his craft. I'm grateful for Deb. I'm grateful for Dr. Pass and Mr. Dr. Pass. I'm just grateful for all of you. And to Flex, thank you so much for showing your humanity and allowing for us here in Virginia to even have this platform. You all the way in Texas, my brother, and we've seen you before we've seen people who's even here in the 757. So I just want to take the time out to say thank you again. Please make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. We are asking y'all to come out on Saturday, and Dr. John Carlos is going to be there. What better? I don't know about you, but what better picture to take than with the man himself, instead of going all the way to DC to go to the African American Museum. He is be here. And when I tell you his heart is so pure, it's not going to feel like you're less than or least than at all. Like, he's literally a human being that loves human beings. So I'm just grateful to be a part. I'm going to let Flex finish with the closing remarks. But again, like, share, subscribe, and we really hope to see you guys on Saturday.
Yeah, I don't have anything other than just to say good luck, Godspeed, and man, do what y'all do best this weekend.
Yes, awesome. We will see you guys again in 2 weeks from now. If you want to be a guest on the Culture Podcast, we know tonight was a little different, but we brought the Culture Podcast with Greenwood on the Floor Is Yours podcast. That's going to one day be a network, y'all. I'm already going to claim that. But we just want to say thank y'all for coming. Thank y'all for sharing this time. And we hope to see y'all in person on Saturday. Peace, love, and light. We love y'all.
Now it's my turn to tell y'all about my big bro Gerard and the podcast crew. From TJ the realist, Miss Cookie the professor, and you can't forget about the inspiration shit. They talk about it all, got advice for us all. You'll never know how deep the talks would go. On the weekdays, the weekends, they be going live with the topics. Then they do the segment where the floor is yours. You can post your comments, you can post your statements, yeah. You can ask your questions, They can help you get your life moving in the right direction. If you need advice on marriage, advice on finance, advice on healing, advice on credit, this the podcast that you need to check out. Go ahead and tune in, you'll feel what I'm talking about.
Baby, I'ma get the floor is yours. Yeah, baby, I mean the floor is yours. Baby, come down to the floor is yours. Let me show you how blue the floor is yours. Hey, the floor is yours. The floor is yours. Na 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 na. The floor is yours. The floor is yours. Na 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 na. The floor is yours.
Yes, make sure y'all check us out. I'm going to just do the deuces, y'all. Peace, love, and light. We'll see y'all on Saturday. Check out Greenwood, please.
Wu-Tang.